Well, we continue trying to get reaction and gauge what to expect from the President Cyril Ramaphosa. His expected engagement to the country tonight. A family meeting. A lot of people saying they're tired of these family meetings, but by the looks of it, this could be the last one for the year. Joining me now is Dennis George, Dr. Dennis George, who is manager at founding director of Difeme Holdings Group. I also think that Dennis George, you are also the director of African Cause. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's right. Dennis, let's discuss a couple of things we're expecting tonight. I mean, I know that we do not want to jump the gun. We do not know what the president's going to say, but we've been doing a couple of interviews this morning, in particular with the industries that will be hard hit. Your expectation of the president's announcement, in particular for business, we do not want to even consider anything beyond a level 3 lockdown. And for business persons such as yourself, it's been tough, and this could get even worse when you're just trying to get on your feet now.
Yes. Yeah. Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to share some of my thoughts with the audience. I think the first thing that we have to recognize is that since the major lockdown started in the beginning of the year, there's a lot of lessons that could be learned from that. And we went into a period of big uncertainty, and we didn't know how it's going to pan out. But I think the process government was taking over the last few months to bring us down to a level 1, and now we see there's a second wave, that's being starting in different areas of the country, like the Eastern Cape and Western Cape and the coastal cities. And amplified to that is also the fact that South Africans, like to travel to their family homes in the rural areas and so forth. And so those kind of things is going to be very critical. And what is going to be important for the president to announce when he's making an announcement is to really make sure that he places the economy at the center of this whole debate. Because, we cannot allow the economy to continuously constricting. And we already see the high numbers of unemployment. We see many businesses have closed down. People have lost their investments, and those businesses are gone forever. And I think what is going to be in the mind of the president is how do you manage these two processes in parallel? That you deal with the implementation of the lockdown regulations, but also to make sure that the business implement the protocols that's been set down to ensure that the economy is going forward, but at the same time that we also get ourselves ready for the vaccination process that's also going to start hopefully in the beginning of the year in South Africa. And that will really help us, to run these two processes. On the one side, we deal with the pandemic, and on the other side, we also need to put up the needs of the economy and our people very high on the agenda. And I also want to appeal to all our citizens that we must practice these safety precaution measures, because these measures are there to protect ourselves and to protect others, like wearing of the mask, that we have to clean our hands and wash our hands on a regular basis, and that social distancing is very, very critical. Yeah. And therefore, I want to just mention the fact it is also no use for government putting strict regulations in place, but then there is no enforcement of those regulations, because then people are just going to accept for a fact that this pandemic is going to go away by itself. Yeah. The future of this pandemic lies in the hands of all citizens, and that's the reason why there must be proper cooperation and collaboration between the state and the actors in the economy. And it's also very important because we're going to accept now in January month, there's going to be massive amount of young people that is also looking for jobs in the economy.
Now, Doc, you were the co-founding director of Difeme Holdings, black-owned mining startup with focus to mine and beneficiate quartz, I think. How hard has, as small upcoming companies, there's many, we're always speaking about, young, especially transformed companies getting into the market and giving jobs to the youngsters that you've mentioned. How hard has it been this year when you've just trying to get your head around competing with big business, and then something like this, a pandemic like this hits?
Yes, look, this pandemic have hit our country and other places in the world very, very hard. We know that many people are out of jobs. Many households have no income. We've depleted the money that we've saved over the many years of the unemployment insurance fund that was used to put money in the pockets of people. And I therefore think, the president have to implement a balanced approach. On the one side, we must take measures to deal effectively with the pandemic. And on the other side, we must provide support for small businesses, and we must provide support for the new entrants into the world of work. That is going to be very, very important, because if those people don't find work, then they become dislocated from the economy, and that is not going to be good for our country.
Overall, are you, the word I'm looking for, maybe quietly confident that it will not be as bad as it was earlier today when the president, or earlier this year anyway, when the president addresses the nation tonight?
Yeah, look, I'm very confident that, and I know the president's mind is on these particular issues, and his programs that he started to implement to try to secure new investment in the economy. Those things are very important, significant issues that he's made steps. But I think what is going to be very important for us is that we must deal with the pandemic on the one hand, and we must also support and provide support for entrepreneurs and for small businesses in the economy, because they don't have the access to funding. And I think another thing that could be done also from the government side is the government grants that has been supposed to be disbursed through the commercial banks. I think government should give another push on that side, and to make the process less legalistic and less cumbersome for small businesses to be able to secure cash flow funding. You know, just let us be out of this pandemic, and then a person can then withdraw that support measures. But I think what is going to be critical, I think the president's mind is on the right place, and I am not expecting the lockdown to be so severe that it will kill off any green shoots in the economy, and that it will also provide support for employment creation in our country.
Yeah, there is African Cause, Dr. Dennis George, also founding director of Difeme Holdings Group. Thank you very much indeed, sir, for joining us. Go back to the back nine. Hope your scorecard gets better.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.